chat in, right? Where you're joining us from today. Um, sorry, I'm reading the chat right now. As I said, it's live. We'll be able to answer some questions throughout the course of this. By the way, yeah, if there's questions coming in, we have got the chat so well loaded up with Tony, myself, Jeff, Brian Aponte. There's quite the team in here answering some of your questions for you. So yeah, I'm always curious where everybody's kind of joining us from. Awesome. Sunny Naperville. Oh, come on, man. It's winter. It's winter. I'm getting cold. I actually got going this morning. I'm in Paradise Valley. I'm in Scottsdale, Arizona. It was like 39 degrees when I got here this morning, but there's no heat in my office at all. So it's still in the 60s in here. Got my little heater fan behind me. I'm losing it. I can't take this. Living in the Virgin Islands like the last couple of years, it gets below like 78. I'm like, I'm cold. Hold me. It's sad. It is sad. So awesome. The great state of Texas. That leaves a lot to the imagination. It's kind of a big place. All right, a couple of people from Chicago. All right, look, I've done my time. I have done my time. I actually love it there, but not this time of the year. They used to always make me go up to like, Chicago and oh, usually Toronto, February. Oh yeah, it's lovely, lovely time to go up there. Anyway, welcome everybody. Well, we've hit our start time. We're gonna get off and rolling here. I just wanted to make sure everybody's tuned in and start with some informal discussion, if you will. So yeah, that's over and done with. Awesome. Yes, Ken, we see you, Ken. Awesome. Okay. Oh, this is nice. Kind of a packed house over here. So yeah, excellent. With that, well, I won't stretch this any longer than it has to be. Again, my name is Don Kaufman, and we're going to be joining momentarily. We'll be joined by none other than Tony Rago. So today's session is actually promises made, results delivered. And I'm going to explain exactly what that means here in just a moment. This is a clear path to $620 a day. All right. With that, look, why we're holding this special event today. So 6 months ago, we did a webinar exactly like this, and we promised the potential for $620 a day from one ticker, one trade setup, and it's repeatable. Every single week we're out there hitting this thing. Well, we're here. We're 6 months later, and the results are in. The results are in, and I'm going to show you exactly that. And you're actually going to see the next slide multiple times throughout the course of this presentation because it's rather spectacular. $620 a day delivered, people, over the last 6 months. And if you actually take a look towards the bottom of your screen, and I'm actually going to highlight exactly where I am looking right now, towards the bottom of your screen, this is actually the dates, okay, on a week-to-week basis. All right, what you could have potentially banked if you traded every setup for the past 6 months with us is approximately $117,000, okay? Or better known is about $620 per trading day. And that's critical, in terms of trading day. So we went back, okay, and looked at specific setups. Those setups, okay, precisely what Tony Rago is going to be sharing with you during today's session. So again, the results are in, they speak for themselves, okay? And it's $620 a day delivered to you. And we're going to talk about this extensively. And immediately, Peter, how much do you need for the trade over here? We're going to get to all of those answers throughout the course of today. Look, 85 years young, learning new tricks. It's official. You succeeded in teaching an old dog new tricks. This filled a pressing need in my financial life. I'm so grateful to Almighty God for you and for the new skills I gained by applying the new knowledge you taught me. This actually comes from Rich C. It's age 85. And by the way, this is a client of ours, okay, just wrote in literally the other day, and I actually wanted to lead off with it because you got to realize at 85, okay, what is that? Back to born in 1939. I was literally just looking at that earlier when FDR was president. Okay. Look, this is why we're doing what we're doing today. Okay. To make trading not only beginner friendly, one kind of key setup. And that's exactly what we're going to lead into right here, right now. I wanted to start with this because I loved this comment that actually came in. 85 years old and still banging away and trading. And by the way, I should be so lucky to be 85 and not only with it, but still effectively trading. I love it. There's a risk disclosure. We're not financial advisors nor a broker dealer. I think everybody realizes that. I actually started my career back at like Think or Swim many years ago. Tony was also a registered rep for a number of years. Copyright disclaimer. This is ours. This is not yours. Look, the real reason I throw this up here, it's got our email address in it. If you ever need to get a hold of me or Tony after today, just go to supporttheotrade.com. Again, supporttheotrade.com. All you have to do is put my name. Just put Don. You don't have to put Don Kaufman. Just put Don in the subject. It goes directly to me. You put Tony in the subject. Goes directly to him. Housekeeping items, right? All right, let's get to it. The skill set. Focus, people. Okay, Tony's actually going to go through his setup in some detail here. So pay attention. Shut the door, turn off Skype, whatever else like social media, Facebook, just destroy it, please. It's, enough already. You don't need Twitter, okay? It's X, I'm sorry. You'll be okay without it. Put your phones on silent mode, kick out the kids, the dog can stay. You took the time to be here. Let's do this. Look, all of this came about, okay? I have had like this quest, even it's like back in my Think or Swim days. It's just kind of never say die, okay, to find, improve the world's ultimate wealth building setup. And there's some specifics though behind this though. You don't want to be tied to a monitor all day without needing to be track of tons of stocks and market movements like that. There's a couple of hundred stocks out. There's a few thousand stocks out there. It's ridiculous without needing a ton of money to get started. Look, okay, when I see something people need to know about, I speak out about it. This is actually, I did a CoinDesk segment. This is actually a couple of years ago, and people were like laughing. They're like, Bitcoin's not going to crash. It crashed. Okay, it crashed. It went belly up. Like, again, if I see something that is worthwhile, I'm going to speak out about it. Like it's important. And I'm always, going to do that. Now, a little bit about me. So I'm actually 25 years now in the business. Okay, and this is it's actually a picture of us out in the Virgin Islands. So most of the time we're actually in the Virgin Islands. I'm stuck in Arizona most of this year. Okay, look, today is easily my biggest and most important kind of day alert, if you will. Yet this is the first time, I've really come forward with a level, of undeniable proof, really of extreme income potential. Right. And again, it's $620 a day and it's been delivered. And there's a lot of clientele that are joining us literally live right now, that have not only seen this, but have actually traded with us, over the past 6 months, have been a portion of this. So by all means, many of the clientele are in here. So again, what this amounts to is $620 a day delivered. It's $117,000 based on the last 6 months. The crazy part, never thought the results would be such a simple setup. And it is a very straightforward setup. Thought nothing would ever kind of check the box of, if I have this like a wealth wish list. When I say a wealth wish list, what I mean by that is, had to have like an abundance of opportunity. Right? So that the trade sets up multiple times. I'm talking tens clear chances a week to execute, make money. So you're never short, on the possibility of a setup, never short of the possibility of new income. Simple to spot, identify, and validate. This is going to be in your face. I mean, what Tony's about to show you is totally in your face. Can't miss. It's obvious. Had to be accessible to anyone with a small account. So one of the questions that constantly comes up is when I bring up this, how much capital do I have to have? This is accessible to anyone with a small account, not just folks with larger accounts. And I'm going to get to all the specifics of like exactly how much you needed to trade at $620 a day. We're going to get to all of that. Okay. Had to be crash proof, meaning you can make money whether markets rise or fall. So this is not going to be like, a one-sided marketplace over here. We're not going to simply trade like on one side of the marketplace or the other. Had to be available right away to anyone. Not something you need a special bank account or access. Like people are going to ask me a million questions today. They're literally going to say like, what broker do I have with this? Everybody calm down. We're going to get there. Okay. You got to walk. Okay. Before you run over here. Okay. And had to be based on one trade. There's one thing I've always said about and again, looking for that, what I kind of term wealth wish list. One trade, okay? Like one setup, executed the same way again and again and again, rinse and repeat, hit it again, hit it again, hit it again, rinse and repeat, one trade, no overnight exposure. I love that. That's gold, Jerry, it's gold. No overnight exposure. Had to make things brainless as possible. Execute, okay? One simple click. Most of all, the setup must exist within one ticker. So one ticker. So you could focus all of your attention literally on one ticker. Look, I come from a market making background, right? I come from a market making background, and we only traded like one ticker. And it's something when, leaving that trading floor, like I always wanted to basically have your attention like on one symbol without having to track hundreds of symbols, okay? And hundreds of other instruments. So I am a self-confessed, perfectionist. By the way, putting it perfectionist is an understatement, okay? I'm clear to the point of should probably be medicated about that. But I push the team here at TheoTrade, okay, to pioneer, to test, to teach the world's greatest trading breakthroughs, demanding requirements, okay, of what we kind of term this wealth wish list, right? And this is really the biggest ask yet, okay? But I knew every single box in the wealth wish list must be checked, okay, before I go public and crown this kind of the king of all setups. Again, with a potential of $620 in returns a day, week after week, okay? And did we ever really think that we'd actually hit some of this? No, okay? For years, literally hundreds of potential setups. By the way, we come here at TheoTrade, and every single day somebody's presenting me something or a client's presenting me something. There's a candidate, it's this, it's setup, it's a MACD, it's Fibonacci, it's a Bollinger Band. It's ridiculous. Some of them, okay, it's just, you just flicking them off. It's just crazy. How many different setups I'm presented every single day, okay? Most of them are way too complex, way too tough to spot, way too much work, okay? It's crazy. Others, I couldn't easily dismiss, but, where the results over time were great, but over and over, each missed certain key elements. And I'm talking about key elements over here, like, certain setups that came around, they didn't come around often enough. You'd be waiting for days for another setup to show up, or you were required to track and understand multiple tickers. Like you'd have to scan like this huge subset of underlyings, not just one simple solitary ticker, okay? So that's all part of this wealth wish list, and I'm convinced, okay, was going to go kind of unmet. And then, and this is going back years ago, okay, I asked around and started talking to a lot of people in the brokerage business. By the way, when you work at a company like Thinkorswim and then TD Ameritrade, okay, here's the bottom line. You get to see what everybody else does. And everybody else also kind of talks, okay? When I say they talk, look, I actually talked to other traders. And when we first launched TheoTrade, this is going back into 2016. So from literally 2001 to 2015, okay, I was actually running a division of both Thinkorswim and then running a division of TD Ameritrade. I left 2016. We launched TheoTrade. I was looking for somebody, and somebody very, very specific, and I'm calling around and so forth. Got another phone call. The same name had come up multiple times. Okay, and in the brokerage business, again, when somebody figures out something, again, everybody starts to kind of talk. Word spreads very, very fast, especially when somebody's generating serious income. And we all, of course, by the way, yes, we look at your accounts. Shh, don't tell anybody about that. Okay. And I kept looking at an individual, all his trades set up around one simple setup. Okay. And we saw, that setup pretty clearly. So we were actually watching this again years ago. So I called him, introduced myself, and completely and totally interrogated him. And again, most of this, okay, right off the bat, literally hit upon exactly what we were looking for. And that happened to be tens of clear chances a week to execute and make money. Simple to spot, identify, validate. Okay. It was accessible to anyone with a small account. It was crash proof, meaning that the markets could crash. You weren't going to get sucked into it because it can actually take, a marketplace, whether it was rising or falling, available right away to anyone. So you didn't have to have like special access. Okay. And it was based upon one trade, executed the same way again and again. There's no overnight exposure. It's executable with one simple click based on one simple ticker. I immediately offered him a job. Okay. At Theo Trade, and he's come through huge for our members. Ladies and gentlemen, that person is, of course, none other than Tony Rago. And Tony is our E-mini NASDAQ instructor here at Theo Trade with over 20 years of professional trading experience. Okay, Tony's actually going to show you specifically the setup today, providing actionable trade insights for futures, both long and short. Look, people, this is why you're here. By the end of the presentation, I'm going to show you a trading setup, okay, that is a win rate of 80%. Okay, and why trading the NQ, and we're going to talk about NQ here momentarily, is a perfect vehicle for generating daily income. NQ, before anybody freaks out, okay, it means NASDAQ. How to get started, okay, and book your first profitable trade today. With this setup, you can potentially generate $620 every day, okay? We just proved it over the past 6 months with absolutely epic results. So I always call him One Trick Tony because he's got one ticker. It's the NQ, one setup, which we're actually going to talk about here momentarily. It's just rinse and repeat, okay? He just wants to put some cash in his pocket. It's day after day after day. Tony is going to actually introduce you to none other than the golden setup. So Tony, I'll introduce you right now, but I am going to talk a little bit about the NASDAQ over here. So Tony, welcome.
How's it going, Don?
Good. I gave you a nice introduction over there. So as we kind of pass this off a little bit to you, and I'm going to have you get into the setup here momentarily. CME Group and NASDAQ. One of the first things that I want to get into, okay, before I go any further into this, is Tony today is actually going to talk, okay, about a futures contract. Now, some of you listening right now have absolutely no experience in the futures world, okay, and there's this immediate like panic. First of all, okay, with the futures contract over here, it is a NASDAQ futures contract, okay? There's, no special like, conversation you would have with a brokerage firm. It's literally signed paperwork, off in trading, okay? It's a negligible amount of capital exposure, okay, in these. And there's even a very, very small contract for when we're new to this called micros. So here at Theo Trade, okay, we have a agreement with the Chicago Mercantile Exchange to where we actually do advocate for some of those products, obviously the NASDAQ being one of those. Now, again, what Tony is going to discuss over here, okay, happens to be none other than the NASDAQ future. Now, for those of you that are brand new, this is going to trade like any stock and it's going to trade like any security. I think that the terminology futures, okay, again, kind of freaks people out a little bit, but just assume it's like buying or selling like an apple. It's buying or selling anything else out there, but it's one kind of composite symbol. Tony, if you will, you're going to get into a little bit here of, why NASDAQ? Why not the S&P 500 futures? Why not Russell future? Why NASDAQ, Tony? Why now?
So NASDAQ obviously is where all the action is, right? It's where the largest tech companies on the planet trade. I started trading the S&P 500 and I quickly found that the NASDAQ had a lot more opportunity, and we're going to get into exactly what I mean by that. More importantly, it was something that I'm going to use the word mechanical. So what I saw in the NASDAQ was setups or price action that was kind of repeatable, and it just seemed to happen very mechanically. And I started to drill down into this. And now look, my whole goal, as any intraday trader, their goal is to do what? Make money every day. right? And so we want to do that in the most simple way possible. For me, that is trading one symbol, right? So that's the NASDAQ futures, the NQ. And I agree with Don. A lot of people kind of get a little, hesitant when you hear futures contract. Look, this is nothing like options. It trades exactly like an equity, okay? But here's the challenge when we're trading stocks for the same purpose of generating daily income. We have to do stock scans, right? That's an arduous task. Takes a lot of time after, at night when you're preparing your list, and then something happens pre-market, and then your list is blown to smithereens. You go from 6 stocks down to 1, and then that thing just sits there. What I love about the NASDAQ is that it moves. Okay, so for the goal for me, if I were going to be successful with this, is I need something that's going to check every box. Okay, number one, I want something that I can see that is going to set up every single day, something that's repeatable, something that's very easy to learn, simplified, right? It's something that occurs every day. It can't just be a one-off, like it only happens on Monday and Thursday, and I don't do anything in between. So this happens every single day, and it drives consistency. This particular setup that we're going to talk about today has an 80% hit rate. Okay. And so again, the reason that I like to trade the NASDAQ is because that's where the action is. With AI and everything, all of these tech companies are top of mind. Everybody's heard of NVIDIA. Everybody's heard of Microsoft. Everybody's heard of Apple, Tesla, etc. Right? These are the big magnificent 7 that are driving the price action in the index of the NASDAQ. What's cool about trading the NQ is that we can trade all of those stocks in one ticker, one symbol. More importantly, we can focus on one chart. So we're not doing stock scans and looking for different chart patterns. We are focused on one particular chart. And in terms of this setup, we're focused on one particular level. So I'm going to introduce to you now what the actual golden setup is. Okay, you guys ready? We're going to talk through this. And again, keeping it very, very top level, very simple. I just want you to understand how this sets up every single day and how you can take advantage of this. Okay. And again, we're going on 6 months, and we have quite a few folks that have taken advantage of this and are banking capital every single day. So very quickly, what I wanted to show you on the screen here, okay, is notice on the chart, the price, this is the NASDAQ, the price was 17,850. Where are we right now? I think we're 20,650, right? So again, when I say that it's repeatable and that it happens over and over again, this is not relegated just to the 17,826. As a matter of fact, the trade setup this morning, the golden setup set up at the 20,526 and the 20,626. So it is a repeatable level that we can trade. And again, ergo, happens and occurs every single day. So just walking through what you see on the screen here, notice how price descends down into this gold level, right? This 17,826, right? When price comes down into this level, we simply buy the 26. We buy that, right? And as you can see, price tends to reverse off of that level back up into this key level here, which we're going to get into kind of the real nuts and bolts of the actual setup. But you can see just even on this slide, and just in a little matter of less than an hour, it's set up once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. It's set up 5 times. We only need one of those to generate the $620 a day. We only
Can I
need
hop in
one.
right there? I'm gonna translate for Tony for a second. By the way, that's why I'm here is to be the translator for Tony. Okay, what Tony's actually showing you and the implication of what he's showing you. Okay. By the way, first of all, I have to appreciate in the slide over there, that Rich C slide. He's not 85, he's 81, and he's actually in chat right now. So thank you, Rich C. And there was another one that just came in here, and somebody just said they just booked this, what we term golden setup this morning. So that's awesome. Okay. So what I wanted to get into, the implication of this, what Tony's actually referencing with that gold line on the screen. He's talking about 17,826. He's literally buying something at 17,826. Okay. When this underlying comes down, okay, as Tony was saying, descends to the 26 level, he's a buyer at 26. I'll leave it there because there is a repeatable pattern in this. Okay. And that's exactly what Tony is coming after.
Right. We only need one level, the 26. And again, keep in mind where price is right now, where the NASDAQ is right now. I'm not looking at the actual, at the chart, but it is at like 20,626. You only need one level. That's what makes this so simple, right? And this is why it sets up repeatedly over and over again. It may set up 4 or 5 times today alone. Okay. This is why we do this, by the way. So just off of one level, one setup, we are generating these returns. So notice the quantity. So I'm simply just buying, as Don said, I'm purchasing contracts, or you could even call them shares, to simplify it. At the 26, we are entering the market at the 26, and we are taking profit as price springboards off of that level. Right. And the numbers speak for themselves. You can see that this is one contract that yielded $400. This is 2 contracts that yielded close to $300. Right. This is all within, a week's time, but you're basically seeing that this sets up daily. Okay. You only need one level. Now, let's get into this. Why or what the heck is a golden setup, and where did this thing come from? Again, this is something that I have been trading since the NASDAQ. I mean, Don, we started, 2016? So the NASDAQ was like in the 4,000s?
Yep. Actually, I remember when I brought you aboard, it was at 4,400 and change. And he was still screaming, the 26.
Exactly.
I mean, like literally, like I meet this guy and we're talking on the phone and he's talking about the 26 this and 26 that. And I'll be honest with you. Took me a while. Like sometimes the little hamster gets stuck in the wheel because he's talking about buy 26. Like when in exactly what you have on your screen. I'm going to be honest with you. When I say 17,826, like it makes more sense. But he's like, buy the 26 to the 33. And I'm like, oh, wait, he's talking about like right now, I'm translating in today's term, 17,826, like, look, you only need the one level. Only need the one level. Sorry, Tony, go ahead.
Yeah. So when Don offered me a job to join Theo Trade, which I was super excited to do that. I'm always excited to show people what I've discovered or what I've kind of figured out, if you will, just as I'm very excited today to introduce this to a whole new crop of new people. So when I came on, it was basically the same thing. I said, Don, I figured something out here. I figured out that when the NASDAQ, when price comes down into the level based on a certain criteria, which again, I will teach you, all we have to do is just buy it. We just simply buy it. And it has such a high level of consistency that we can actually do this every single day. And this can lead to an actual trading plan where you only need one level. So now we're going to get into the details of this. All right. So let me know when you guys are ready. We're going to walk through the very details of how the golden setup sets up and how you can actually start to trade this today. Okay. So on your screen, what you see again is I just have a chart and I just have lines on the chart. So what we're going to focus on is this level right here, the 18,050. Keep in mind, the previous slide was in the 17,000s, right? Again, this repeats itself over and over again. So what I want you to train your eye to is to the 18,050. And so as price descends down to this level, remember the magical 26 level, we simply buy when price gets there. Okay. We have our order sitting there. We buy on the 26. And as price starts to move away from the 26, we start to book profits. We book profits into the 33 level, the next level on the chart. Again, I'm going to walk you through every little aspect of this. Okay. I don't expect you to just like, oh, I know exactly what you're doing, but some of you just might know exactly what I'm doing, right? Very, very simple. And then all we're simply looking for is price, again, descending down to this level and then springboarding back towards this level right here. And it happens over and over and over again. So to recap, as far as the golden setup goes, okay, NQ, the NASDAQ 100, so the futures contract for the NASDAQ is called the NQ. It is like trading the entire basket of the Magnificent Seven, right? All of those big tech companies in one symbol. So we get all of that action without all of that risk. And as Don indicated earlier, I still, to this day, maintain that the NASDAQ is the perfect vehicle for generating daily income because of these types of setups, because of how the golden setup sets up every single day. And again, this is something that I'm talking about that if you're a futures trader, if you understand the NASDAQ or the NQ, or maybe you already trade the NQ, you can actually start to trade this today, okay? I'm going to reiterate this probably 1,000 times. You guys are probably going to roll your eyes like, oh, the guy's going to say it again. He's going to say it again. Yes, the 26 is the only level that you need. Now, the challenge for a lot of traders is to simply focus on one level. That's truly a challenge. So, but that is my challenge to you, is to focus only on one level, to master this, right? And realize how you can accomplish a goal of $620 a day. This is an Instagram message that I got from one of my students, okay? Paul came through my course. He checked back in with me, I don't know, 6 months down the road. He said, Tony, look, I just want to thank you for teaching me everything you know about the NASDAQ. I still think you're hiding things, and I might be, but his progress is moving along quite nicely. And he is now a $250,000 a year trader. Guys, that, and a large portion of this is from this particular setup, right? He didn't trade futures before meeting me and taking my courses. And now this guy is basically printing money, right? He has a $250,000 a year income based off of trading the NASDAQ. And now, let's get to this, okay? We're going to talk about how, like, where does $620 come from, Tony? Why are you, that's a very specific number. Where does that come from? So now I'm going to talk you through the very specifics of how we arrive at that number, okay? So let's get into it. So remember, just to reiterate, okay, we're coming from the 50 level. Look, it's another 50. It's the 17,850. So as price descends down to this level, we are there to meet it. Almost like we have a catcher's mitt. We're buying two contracts, okay? Now, here's one thing that's part of my methodology that I'm pretty critical of, and I'm critical of folks that come through my courses. I want you to get risk out of the trade as quickly as possible, meaning I want us to be in a trade that can no longer lose, right? And that's why this probability is so important. That's why when we buy at the 26, I buy two contracts, okay? And the specifics aren't very, you don't need to get, too mired up in the specifics right now in terms of contracts. What is a contract? We buy two, let's just call them shares. So we buy two of them at the 17,826. We will sell one of them when price goes to the first target, which is the 33, right? So like Don said earlier, that is what I was so jazzed about when Don said, hey, I'm going to give you a shot. Go present to my people at Theo Trade. And I'm like, perfect. I'm going to show them the 26 to 33, 26 to 33. And he's like,
put me in, coach.
He's like,
put me in, coach.
What is this guy even talking about? Right? And so we take profit there. And at that point, the trade is in profit. If the trade backs up on us, we're out of the market and we're walking away with a net profit of the $140. Now, we're in it for $620. So we need the final contract, right? We still, again, for lack of a better term, we still have skin in the game. We're still in the market. We have profit locked in. And now we want to see it achieve a return right back to that 50 level to take our final bit of profit for $480. So between the two contracts, this is how we arrive at the $620. We only need one of those per day, one per day. And they typically happen in the morning, by the way, right? So you will typically see this in the first couple hours of any given market day, okay? Now, in order for you to capture this, the NASDAQ does move kind of quick sometimes, okay? If you're a futures trader, I'm sure people are chiming in on the chat right now about that. Like, oh, this thing moves really.
Yeah. I'm
This?
actually going to hop in on this part because this is my forte. This is what we call routing orders. In the end, Tony's actually showing you this 26 level, and it's just all day long, rinse and repeat all day long. Everything revolves around this 26 level. And when people look at it, they go, well, you have to go out there and you generate a buy order. So I here at TheoTrade am your order execution specialist. And the reason I'm your order execution specialist, I built many of the order execution tools specifically on Thinkorswim. By the way, I'm super broker agnostic. Everybody's, well, what broker and what broker? Listen, you got to learn to the trading strategy. You got to learn, okay, this 26, which is just all day long, okay? And part of it, though, is you can also learn to kind of automate everything that we're doing out there. Like, again, we've got an incredible way for you to kind of automatically generate these levels onto your charts. So keep watching. So the chart side of it, keep watching. We've got a way to kind of automate that. But what we've also done is you can automate much of the entry and the exit. Now, without going into just incredible detail over there, bracket systems. And what bracket systems basically do is you actually click, okay, onto a bracket system. It's generating a buy order, okay, a sell order, all right, another sell order. And then when I say another seller, what do you mean? Well, what happens if you buy, okay, the 26? We go higher, it can actually take you out profitably. We go lower, it can actually take you out of the trade. Bracket orders, okay, are extraordinarily important, but it's a great way to automate, okay, the order entry. And again, we're going to talk about, so stay with us. We're going to talk about, okay, automating kind of the chart side of it, but this is critical, and it's got your risk management effectively built right into it. So bracket systems, they can differ from different trading applications and so forth, but let's not put the cart before the horse. Okay, people are already talking about Robinhood, and there's Thinkorswim, and there's this brokerage firm, that brokerage firm. Okay, first we focus on the 26. Okay, let's get into it, Tony. Go for
it. Don, I think someone just actually did the trade while we're sitting here doing this. I think someone just actually booked a golden setup trade, which
nice.
is just fantastic.
Did we actually just trade through? Yeah, we just traded through.
So as Don is saying, again, one of the challenges for me as an instructor is to simplify this, to teach this to the very brand new trader. This is very beginner friendly. You don't need a ton of experience. You don't need any experience at all, to be honest with you. This automates the process by using a bracket. It's just one less thing to worry about. We're not managing the trade. We're not over managing the trade. We are simply putting the trade on. Again, it comes down to the 26. We buy it, and the bracket takes over, right? The bracket takes over. We get our profit, our first point of profit for +7, which is the plus, at the 33, and then the final profit target of 24. And again, that is how we arrive at the $620 number. There are people chiming in on the chat right now that just took the setup, that just booked $620. I mean, that's pretty cool. Now, what's very important is this. It's very important to understand the entry process because, again, the NASDAQ can move quickly at times, and you don't want to hesitate. So it's very important that you understand the mechanics of the order entry process and let that bracket take over, okay? And knowing when to enter is actually critical as well. And so these are all things that I walk you through: setting up the bracket, getting involved, getting the trade on, letting the bracket take over. But it's very, very important. It's critical that we get the entry right. All right, so let's walk through another kind of just a visual of a setup. I'm stoked. Don. I mean, there are people actually doing the trade right now, and
Yeah, there's
they're
actually
making money.
there's a pretty good number actually in the chat right now that are hitting this, and the way I recognize a lot of the names in here. So, Jakester, you're with
Was it a
us.
mic drop or what?
Yeah, no, I mean,
Okay,
look, it's we're getting some volatility. Let's do it. Go for it.
take advantage. All right, so let's walk through one more time. Very simple visual. Look, I'm going to repeat this over and over and over again. I want you to walk away with knowing the 26. I want you talking about the 26 later when you're with your significant other. You're like, hey, this guy talks about the 26 a lot. Anyway, here we go. Coming from the 17,750. Remember, that's the key. It has to come from this level, the 50 level, any 50, you guys, right now, it could be the 650, the 20,650, the 20,550, the 21,650. It does not matter. As it descends down to our level, the 26 level, again, we're on alert. We buy. As price springboards off of that level, that's when we start to collect our money. That's when we take profit at the first target. We are now in a trade that has paid for itself. We're now in a trade. We now have profit in this trade. And we just simply let the bracket take over. And as price ascends back up to the same level, the 50, where it came from, we're out of the trade. We got our $620 for the day. And again, look, that's what's important. And that's what honestly is really cool to see, like folks in the chat right now. I get these emails, and Don has seen them. Don has seen these emails from his stuff as well. Yeah, Tony, this is life-changing. I never thought that this was going to be so simple that I could actually book and make $620 a day consistently, right? That's why I do this. That is why I love this, because I can take someone that has never traded the futures. They
Yeah, by
might
the
be
way,
intimidated by
a
just
few
the
of the people,
simple term of futures.
a few of these guys are actually in our chat room. This says boom boom 620 from the golden setup, and that's poolside trader. I'm not sure if that gentleman is in there, but I know a lot of these people. My goal is $620 a day. Okay. And after just 2 weeks, I've been consistently winning. That comes from Henry L. It's from Marshall, Texas. That's golden, Tony. I just made $1,500. That comes from Kevin M. All right. If you want to continue on over here, there's a few more in there. All right. Okay. I'm up $8,853. That's from, again, John T. That's a big one. I'm going to stop on that one for just a second. Wow, just made my first $1,000 in a day. Tony, this week I made $4,280. That's from Shirley Q. So again, pretty phenomenal results over here. And by the way, I am actually watching chat, and there are several of these individuals that are literally in our chat live with us right now.
And I work with these people every single day. And it is so fun. And every day I'm just as excited as I was the day before to show you guys this, as I am excited to show this to you today. And I'm, having everyone in the chat on with us live and chiming in. I mean, that's just the cherry on top. So again, we're going to walk through one more here. I want to constantly give you this visual of the mechanics of the trade, how this comes down, how price. Because look, a lot of traders think the market is selling off here. I wouldn't buy that with your money. We buy that based on the probability. We buy this based on the 1,000 of occurrences that I've gone through with the 26. We buy this every single time because it has such a win rate. It has over 8 out of 10 trades are going to work to our favor. Okay. So why wouldn't we do that? This is a really good example of just simply clicking, and this thing went well beyond our target. But again, we're only in this, right? We're only in this to make the $620 a day. But as you can see, folks will take it to the next level.
Yeah, traded both of today's golden setups, $4,014 net profit. That comes from none other than Mark B. And again, just time out for a second, because people are constantly asking about margin. There's like no minimums to this. You can start with a few $100s in your account. Now this though is trading higher amounts of capital, which is always plausible. The $4,014. Obviously, this is a trader that's amplifying this to another level.
Yeah, there are a lot. Look, there are a lot of very experienced traders that are actually scaling, right? Adding more contracts based on their skill level. I don't think it's necessary to, to make your $620 a day. But look, again, like I said, if you know what you're doing, if you know what you're doing already, if you are already a NASDAQ trader, this is my gift to you. Okay. Now, coming up, listen, as Don said, we're 6 months into this, right? And so we're constantly evolving this to make it even more user friendly. And we've actually, for this particular challenge, to help alleviate the onboarding process, because look, there's a lot of new traders that come in. This is a 90-day challenge. And sometimes a newer trader, it might take a couple weeks for them to actually, I got to figure out my chart and I got to get this set up and that set up. I've made that even more easier for you by automating the actual chart. Okay. So I have a chart now that will automatically plot the levels for you, no matter where the market is. We could be at all-time highs. It doesn't matter. The levels are going to be there. It is hands-off, beginner friendly. You do not have to do any of this. So all these levels you see on the screen, they are going to generate automatically for you. That is one less step that you're going to have to think about. And especially for the new trader coming on, it is one less thing that we're going to have to focus on when you start, right? And so we can literally hit the ground running right on day one and get started. Okay, so again, here's another example of how the 26 works. The market is selling off, and it's almost like it just hits the brakes right there on the 26. And again, so a lot of people that come through my classes like, what? Why is it doing this? How did you figure this out? This is what I do, right? So I eat, sleep, and breathe the NASDAQ. And this is why I was so excited when Don reached out to me and said, hey, I want you to come present at TheoTrade. And I said, I can't wait, right? And that's where we are right now. So again, another example of our 26, complete reversal of the market back the other way.
Golden setup pays again. You know what? I actually, with this, I wanted to make a quick comment on this particular front too. Somebody was like, "Well, 6 months." Okay, quite frankly, Tony's actually been doing this since 2016 with us. What we did do though is we isolated him into literally the 26. That's it. We're isolated literally into the 26, and it just keeps hitting it again and again and again and again. That's why we termed it the golden setup over here. Tony, if you want to fast forward here one slide, yeah, okay. There are so many opportunities throughout the day, which we just literally hit one, right? So if you miss one, no big deal. Another one's coming, and that's from Brent G. And I love that particular comment for right now, right here, because I know there's a bunch of people that are. By the way, I term them Nasdaqians from the planet Nasdaq here, but those Nasdaqians are tuned in here and feel like they may have actually missed it. So let's kind of continue on. So Tony, so far I am up $64,130. Thanks for always being there for me. That comes from Randall, and both Tony and myself know Randall quite well. Yeah. Randall has actually been around for considerable period of time with us here at TheoTrade, but he is trading the 26, and that's what this guy is about.
And so, worth noting that Randall, he was not a NASDAQ trader before meeting me and before trying this setup, and I would argue that that is his core activity at this point. Look at this. This is another example of price coming down into the 26 again. So let's walk through it. I want to make sure that you walk away. Again, we said by the time this is over, you are going to absolutely understand the criteria of how this sets up for you. You can actually start to trade this tomorrow, today. Well, some of you traded it today. So coming from the 50, this is the 18,650 down to the 18,626. That's our golden setup. It comes down from the 50. We buy our contracts at the 26, and then we get profit at the 33, and then let price ascend to our second target, right? And as indicated by the previous slides where folks have these higher numbers, they might pile in with more than 2 contracts. They might hold it for longer, right? Again, experience dictates that. What I'm going to walk you through, what I want you to walk away with is the ability to make $620 consistently. day in and day out.
Yeah, I like this. Made $1,020 today. That actually comes from Ken. Booked about $6,000 in profits. That comes from Sam. By the way, like nobody cares about students quite like Tony. I mean, where he's supposed to spend, X amount of time and literally spends, days and days with clientele. It's just phenomenal. So banked $2,750 today. That actually comes from John H. And it goes on. Okay. Tony, I've banked $344,000 solely thanks to your system. I just trade from home and play tennis anytime I like. Okay. I tell friends it's like having an ATM in my house. Every day, I just decide how much I want to take out. Comes from John P. Now, I appreciate things like this and the ATM comment. I mean, it's a matter though of an evolution and revolving literally around one effective setup. I mean, that's what it comes down to.
I mean, it's look, let's stay on this for 1 second. It is systematic. That is how he literally equates this to an ATM. Like, I just know how this sets up. It's very systematic, right? It occurs every single day, the same way, every single day. And here's another thing. As I said before, the reason I like the NASDAQ, the reason I like to trade the NQ specifically is because we can focus on one chart. So you can go outside of my voice today and validate this yourself. And you can see just how systematic and mechanical is really the word mechanical this is, right? You can go and see this. This is all evidence-based, you guys. And so for that reason, this guy is taking it to the nth degree and is booking some serious profits just off of this setup.
Tony, hit
Another
it
one.
again. Let's show one more time for the 26 setup.
One more time. All right. So you can see that the market is moving, right? These are very big candlesticks here. You don't really need to understand what that means, but price, again, the only thing that we focus on is how price comes down from the 50, right? From the 350 into the 26. And then it lifts off of the 26. We want to see that kind of springboard effect off of the 26, right? And again, so what I try to do in my methodology, what is so important for me is showing you how to get what I call risk out of the trade, to get into a point of profit and stress-free, if you will, right? We know that trading can be stressful. I want to alleviate the stress as much as possible. That's why all of these setups are based on a very specific criteria. If that criteria is met, we take action. We take action. We let the bracket take over. And once we have that first target met, which by the way is the highest probability, there's no more stress in the trade. We just simply let the bracket take over. And if price heads up to our second level, we book our $620 for the day.
All right. I am averaging $1,000 to $2,000 a day. Okay. I like that. I only trade one ticker and that I own and don't have to study numerous stocks or charts. One of the things over there as I kind of fumble through this is one of the things I always talk about is it is like, and I always poke fun at Tony. It's like, one trick Tony over here, but it's one underlying, it's one chart, it's the 26, it's repeatable, it's doable. Tony, if you would, please
and look,
continue
I'm
on.
smiling, Don, because I recognize all of these names. And it's just awesome because everyone starts the same way. Everyone starts the same way. They don't have a lot of knowledge about this. And I'm able to actually hold their hand, right? And walk them through the entire process. And then they just kind of run with it from there.
Just got another $400 on the golden setup. That comes from Gabriel S. All right. I love the structure and the discipline. So that's actually an interesting comment because, sometimes I actually appreciate those even more so than, oh, I just got 620 or I just got, $1,000 over there. The structure and the discipline of it is critical because that's something we've just been dealing with now for years. And it's straightforward. As I said, one more time on the 26.
It's like encore after encore. So here's another one. And again, it is, Don, it's even easier now since we've automated the chart. right? Which is really, really cool. It is definitely the next step in this process of simplifying this particular setup and this particular 90-day challenge. So again, let's walk through it again. We're in the 20,000s now, right? We've gone from the 17,000s to the 18,000s, and now we're in the 20,000s. So as price comes down from the 20,050, we are buying the 26 level. That's all we need to know. We're buying the 26 level, and we're looking for price to react in our favor and springboard off of that level back towards the 50. And that is how, again, we arrive at this number, right? Every single day. That is how we are coming up with and booking $620. So it starts with the entry process, taking profit, again, stress-free, right? And letting the bracket take over from there. So this is from Thomas in the Netherlands. Tony, I have just swept my account for my trades in June, which was enough to pay for the rest of my father-in-law's chemo treatments and beyond. Now I have more time with my dad. Thank you for everything, which is, I mean, just beyond, right? That really is why we do this. And again, I get these emails about how life-changing this is for folks. And that is why I show up every single day. Oh my gosh, another one. So here we are. I'm just going to keep doing this, you guys. I am going to keep doing this until you understand exactly why I'm so excited to talk to you guys about this today. Okay. So again, let's just talk through it. And if you're noticing, by the way, these are not the same setups. Okay. These are not the same setups. They are the same literal setup, but they're not the same levels. So it's not just the same chart that I'm regurgitating over and over again. I'm literally going to find this stuff, how it occurs every single day. So let's walk through it one more time. From the 19,750 down to the 19,726, we enter the trade there, right? And as price springboards off, we're taking profit. So what you're also seeing, and this is what's cool. So as you saw in some of the slides where these bigger numbers are showing up in these testimonials, folks are saying, look, I've got it from here. You've shown me the level. You've shown me how to get involved with this and why the 26 is so important. And you guys, that's what I love about this. That is why I like teaching this. I love the light bulb moments. I love when students take this and kind of run with it. And like, I get emails from folks that are telling me along their trading journey, Tony, I'm now trading more contracts. Why? Because my hit rate, my success rate in this setup has exceeded my expectations. I am willing to take the risk because I know that 8, sometimes 9 out of 10 of these trades, I'm at least going to get to the point of a free trade or a profitable trade where I'm in that stress-free position where I can just let the trade run. Okay. And so again, I can't stress to you guys enough about how this works day in and day out. A lot of folks think it's like magic, right? And it's not. It's very much based on a probability that I teach to you guys and that I talk with you through this challenge. I'm with you every single day, teaching you every single day in this challenge. Regina says, the finest and most truthful organization I've ever dealt with. And I want to kind of touch on that for 1 second. There are a lot of services out there, right? I absolutely separate myself from them by being extremely explicit, okay? Extremely explicit and clear about what the setup is, what our criteria is, right? And how that discipline comes into play. Because discipline and being disciplined will lead us to being consistent traders. Okay. My trades have paid for the whole 90-day challenge today. Some of you guys are already seeing that as well. With those of you that have already traded it today, you're already on your way to paying for the 90-day challenge, if you will. And that's a little funky, but hey, whatever works, right? And so this was from Anthony, and I remember Anthony. Anthony came in, also another one that did not have much experience, and this was like within the second week or the third week of the 90-day challenge, and again, just kind of paid for it right out of the gates. So I'm going to reiterate this again. If you are a trader, if you are an intraday trader or a day trader, okay, and you are looking to book consistent income, you only need one setup. You only need this setup to simplify your trading. Okay. I've spent years fine tuning this down to where this, again, is a very, very simple process. We have a bracket that can automate it, right? It is based on a very simple criteria. The challenge for us as traders is to simply sit back and let this actually set up before we start taking action. Okay. Now, today, again, I talked about a little bit of an evolution. So some of the folks that are in the chat room right now have been in the previous 90-day challenge. Some of them are in their second 90-day challenge, going into a third 90-day challenge because we have so much fun every single day. Light bulbs, again, going off left and right. But one thing that was really clear to me to make this particular challenge the best one yet was to create something, again, to make it more and more simple. And that is this automated chart. So the automated chart, I'm going to give that to you. Okay. That's going to be part of your 90-day challenge as you come on. Starting today, right now, the Golden Setup Masterclass with me, this gives you immediate access. Okay. You're going to have 24/7 access to all of the recordings. So for as long as you can log into a computer, you're going to have access to the archives. Because remember, I want to preface this a little bit. We are trading a live market every single day. So I join you in the chat room every single day for 90 days. We are trading shoulder to shoulder in a live market. There is a lot of things to teach you and a lot of things for you to learn. And there's some things that kind of get lost, honestly, within that process. And that's why the archives are so great. You can go back and access them over and over and over again.
Oh, fantastic. Sorry about that, Tony. I lost you for a moment, but I am
All right, he's back.
I'm back in here. I'm back, baby. So yeah, you got to love this in today's day and age. I'm still losing internet and power in the same day. It's a party over here. So again, I'm going to pick up exactly where you actually left off. 24 access to the recording, 90-day access to the Golden Futures chat room. As I said a moment ago, and as Tony was actually just alluding to, kicking off obviously December 2nd, monthly golden coaching calls. Now, it's weird. One of the reasons I read this is because it's weird for Tony to kind of talk about himself a little bit. At least I always feel that way. And one thing I feel like probably the most strongly about, especially in this particular instance, okay, is I say, Tony, it's weird for him to talk about himself. No one takes the time, okay, including myself, to work with people more than Tony. I mean, I'm very forthright. I don't have the patience like he does. Okay. I mean, he works people through these things. And if you want to, put some of that time in, he's willing to take it with you and take you to entirely, new levels over here. And it's incredibly important. So this monthly golden coaching call, which the reason I'm bringing that one up specifically over here is, Tony's supposed to spend, an hour or 90 minutes, and, 2.5, 3 hours later, I'm like, Tony, man, where are you, baby? You're late for your next, session or something over here. And he's literally spending, time with people. So I wanted to back up for a second too, and mention, so there's 90-day access to the Golden Futures chat room. That is a completely autonomous room just for what, again, I term NASDAQians. Like this is Tony Rago's his own trading room specifically designed, okay, for this. I mean, it's called the Golden Futures chat room specifically because they focus on this setup. And like, look, people, there are a lot, okay, of existing clientele that are in that room helping some of the newbies come aboard. And by the way, many of them are literally in here right now. Though I'm actually refreshing my screen right now up here to just to see some of the names actually kind of populate again. But okay, again, if you are kind of an existing client here, by all means, chat in because everybody's kind of rooting for everybody else. We're trading some of the same setups over here. Everybody's entries are very, very similar. And I love that stuff. Absolutely love it. So it's not just, Tony, it's, there's like a camaraderie inside of this room, specifically over here. So with that being said, on top of it, and one of the reasons I actually initially started doing this with Tony, I also put together a Futures 101 with, well, none other than myself. And said it's always weird to talk about yourself, but the Futures 101, look, I know that there's some people that are joining us today. They don't know, okay, the first thing, again, the first thing about a futures contract. They don't even know what the Chicago Mercantile Exchange is. I had somebody talking about the day trading margin rule. Just everybody calm down. This gets you up to speed. The one thing that I will reiterate to every single person in here, and it's so important, okay? No matter the amount of capital size you're starting with, you don't have to have any minimums in your account. Okay, there are brokerage firms you can plunk a few $100s into your account, okay, and have full capacity to trade this 26 setup. And that's not if and or but any account size can do this, right? It's not, again, a huge burden to anybody, right? And it's obtainable to any account size. And somebody said even an IRA on here. I'll cover all those questions in a moment. So that Futures 101 takes you from the absolute kind of like, I don't even know what a futures contract is, because people are like, is this a call or a put? It's not. No, it's a futures contract. Okay. It'll take you from what a futures contract is. Okay. And then I actually hand you to Tony. And from there, okay, it's kind of off and running. And again, people really, they have tendency, with this to put the cart before the horse. Don't worry about the brokerage firm. Who cares? I have relationships with all the brokerage firms. You name a brokerage firm, I got a relationship with them. Okay. From Robinhood, where, one of the guys that stood up at my wedding runs Robinhood. Okay. Another one literally runs, to Tasty. Another one actually is running Schwab. Who cares? They're a dime a dozen. Worry about the brokerage firms later. Okay. Again, don't put the cart before the horse. Right. Got to learn the 26. Last but not least, the consistent setups, okay, and live trade ideas for 3 months. So what you're actually entering into here, okay, it's theotrade.com/gold. Again, theotrade.com/gold. And I'm actually going to take you over to this particular page right now, make sure everybody actually sees it. Again, it's theotrade.com/G is in gold. theotrade.com/gold. And we'll put the link directly into the room right now for you. So it'll just be one-click functionality, okay, to be able to put that in there. All right, look, as you scroll to the bottom of this, okay, really important over here, okay, this is actually your enrollment right down on the bottom of this screen, okay? We'll talk about all the odds and ends, okay? Make sure to put in accurate information in here, okay? Obviously, $8.95 is due today. Now, before I go any further over here, okay, I'm actually going to kind of cruise. Let's get to specifics. So the Golden Setup Masterclass. This is a masterclass put together with none other than, of course, Tony Rago. You have instant access. So we recorded this, okay, cleaned it up, got it ready. This is available immediately. All right. So this is available immediately over here. Now, with that, step by step, he's actually going to walk through and teach you the golden setup. Now, Tony, just give me a heads up. Approximately how long is this after we cleaned it, cut it, got it ready? How long is the actual entire golden setup class?
I think it's a couple hours, maybe just a little under 2 hours.
Yeah. Okay.
But as you indicated, so when you guys sign up today, you can actually watch the class today, this afternoon.
Yeah, that's exactly. I was just about to get to. So, so I'm a person also like, I like to listen to everything, stuff like this, like multiple times, but I also play it back at like 1.25 the speed. Okay. Yeah, it's good. I mean, that's the kind of thing that you have access to it. And by the way, it's 24/7 access. And again, the retail value on that is about $2,000, and there's three additional high probability setups are going to be in here. So I am going to allude to that right now. Okay, is there anything you can do outside the 26? Yes. Okay, today's focal point is specifically that 26. Now the next on here, people. Okay, I'm going to do a big timeout on this one.
Yes.
This is the biggest differentiating factor this time through. Okay, more than anything else. Okay, when I say this is the biggest differentiating factor, what's this? We have a new auto charting advantage. Basically, okay, in previous iterations, so we've done, okay, this 90-day session, and we've done this, okay, previous groups. And one of the things that it takes a little bit of time to get used to is the charts, because Tony uses this specific level setup where he's got the 26 marked, he's got the 33 marked, and you're like, and it takes people time to adapt, ultimately to put those levels on their chart. We cut all that out. All of that work has effectively been clipped out. Okay. And what we're now doing, okay, is, well, by the way, I changed this on my own slide. There's no screwing around with the charts anymore. Okay. Because it drove me insane. That's why, like, people are like, and this broker and that broker. Seriously, you guys got to stop that crap. Who cares? You get good at something, then, okay, I will have every conversation with you about brokerage firms. It's like people always ask me, like, what about the taxes? How about make some money first and then we'll worry about the taxation? Don't put the cart before the horse. I'm serious about that. Okay. Done for you. The golden levels are going to be in there. There's no screwing around with charts. It's totally programmed for you. It's going to save a lot of time, a lot of headache. Okay. It's super low tech, meaning that you're just going to be able to import the levels. Okay. There's no trading or charting knowledge needed in here. Whereas in a previous iteration of this, going back to the May timeframe, the first group, okay, that went through this, it was like, oh man, it took Tony like a couple of days to get all, the
Yeah.
charts set up and everything. We had to do away with that. The biggest differentiating factor in this session, okay, is, again, this is going to be easy. It's going to be clean. This is what makes this the best challenge yet. And it is going to be the best challenge yet. Retail value of this is $1,000. We just added this. Now, bonus number 2, 90-day access to the golden chat room, right? So you have 90-day access to the room itself. And Tony Rago is going to trade and post the golden setups. So a lot of people are not really familiar with, what's this chat room going to look like? Time out. What chat room are you in right now? What are you in right now? Okay. You're in a chat room. Okay. It's going to look exactly like this. Like, literally, this is the room, basically. It looks exactly like this. So we use the exact same piece of technology specifically, okay, for the golden setup room. Okay. You're getting day-to-day mentoring and trade setups. Like, I don't want you to think like, oh, 90-day access to the room. No, Tony's in there. Okay. Live. So Tony's going to come in there live throughout the course of the day. It's going to do day-to-day mentoring and trade setups. He's going to present just like this, live, when the setup's coming. Ladies and gentlemen, okay, we have descended from the 50, bring it home to the 26, orders ready, okay, fire at will. And that's literally how it works. Like, it's not, this there's no depth, no complexity to it. Ladies and gentlemen, we just descended from the 50. We're headed towards the 26, okay? Get your orders working kind of thing. And that's important. And your questions are going to be answered live day to day. Again, the room is 90 days. It's a $2,000 value. A bonus 3, okay? This is the monthly golden coaching call. So I put a lot of weight into these, even though it's like once a month, but it's highly dedicated. It's highly dedicated where, again, Tony Rago is live, okay? And what he's actually doing is kind of, going back through some of the setups that we've done, good, bad, or indifferent, okay? Are there any little nuances, okay? Specific trades over here. And by the way, this is 3 dedicated 2-hour coaching calls. And originally we had these as like an hour. And then he was like, well, I go for 90 minutes. And I'm like, just call it 2 hours because he'll be on there for 3. Like, it's crazy. Like, no, I'm serious though. But Tony, again, he stays on there and stays with you people like nobody else. Like nobody else. I mean, because this is, the NASDAQ is kind of his baby. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, get your results, and get your questions answered live. And one of the things I say, get the results because you're actually able to bring those and actually, flesh them out with other clientele in there. And that is important over there. Okay. Ongoing refinement of it. Okay. And access to the recordings. By the way, everything that we do here, okay, is recorded. Literally everything we do here is recorded. So that's another $500 in value. Now, bonus number 4. This is a futures 101. This is just, it's me. Okay. It's me. Learn what futures contracts are all about. Introduction to the Chicago Mercantile Exchange and what Globex is. Globex, piece of technology, and talk a little bit about it. Futures margin, okay, and how it's spectacular. That's where there's so much commentary in the chat about this brokerage firm and that brokerage firm, okay? The brokerage business has really been highly commoditized. That just basically means it's a very level playing field out there. And it depends on who you are and what you want to accomplish. I can actually match you with the right brokerage firm. And as I said, we have relationships with many of the brokerage firms out there. You're like, I love charts, but I don't like this, and I want to do this. I'm like, cool. Here's the right firm for you. So don't worry about it. Don't freak out about it. As I said, and I always reiterate this: don't put the cart before the horse. It's like the person asking for who's the right accountant for me after I make a ton of money. I'm like, whoa. Let's actually make some money first. Let's worry about executing and making money first. Okay. Then we'll come back and we'll find the right brokerage firm for you, maybe even the right accountant for you. Okay. So you're also going to learn here in bonus number 4 how futures markets drive order flow, meaning they're the driver behind the entire marketplace. It's about a $300 value. Now, okay, all of this is a riskless trade. It's a 90-day money back guarantee. This is where I say we put our money where our mouth is. Okay. We believe in this setup so much. Okay. We'll put our neck on the line for you. So it's a money back guarantee. Look, if you're not satisfied anytime in the next 90 days, just email us, support@theotrade.com, and receive a full refund. Look, we have done this time and again. Okay. We know what works. We know, okay, you go through the class, you spend a little time with Tony, you're going to be able to execute, okay, on that 26th level. But time out. Look, it can be the 89th day, okay, the 23rd hour of the 89th day of this. Look, there's no excuses, no questions, no commentary. Just email us, ask for your money back. Okay. Look, we want people that want to be here. But again, as I said, we're sticking our neck out over here. We believe in this. We believe in this. And there's a 90-day money back guarantee with it. Again, theotrade.com/gold. Just remember, that's here. Okay. It's also actually right here. Okay. Right here. The money back guarantee is in there. Right. But again, that's something that you guys decide. This is critically important. Okay. But at the exact same time, you've got to give it the time, give it your all. theotrade.com/gold. All right. The 90-day NASDAQ trading challenge. We're going to work with you directly. There are 30 spots, okay? 30 spots available on this. And we do that again to, incite a little bit of a riot of people obviously signing up over here. We also provide you unlimited email mentoring. It's one of the reasons we actually limit the number of people that come in to the new trader challenge over here. He gives you unlimited email mentoring. I say Tony literally spends hours a day answering email. Okay. What he doesn't answer in email, he's actually spending, in, of course, the golden setup room over there. Again, it's a new and improved 90-day NASDAQ trading challenge. Now with auto charting. Okay. Again, just to reiterate, you're getting the auto charting advantage, which is helping you set up your charts. You're getting, again, a golden setup masterclass with Tony Rago, which gives you immediate access to his masterclass. So literally, you enroll right now, theotrade.com/gold. Okay. You'll enroll right now. It takes only a few minutes, takes us about 5 to 7 minutes. We'll actually give you your username and password. You can actually go check out, the entire masterclass, start playing it back. And by the way, yes, we have variable speed over there. He may sound like a chipmunk, but it's kind of cool to go through, and you can go through multiple times, as many times as you want. Again, it's completely on demand. You have 24 access to the, accessibility, of course, to the recording. Now, on top of that, here's the real key. There's 90 days access to the Golden Futures chat room. Okay. And that's a room that looks exactly like the room that you're presently in. It kicks off, December 2nd. There's a little bit of lag time. Like, why do we do that? Okay. So that people have time to get ready, to do the auto trading advantage, to listen to the master class, okay, to listen to the futures 101. So we're going to get people tuned in, turned on before you ever step foot directly into, of course, the Golden Futures chat room. Again, giving the monthly golden coaching calls, the Futures 101, and again, all of the consistency, the setups, okay, and live trade ideas for 3 months. So as I said, it's theotrade.com/gold. One of the things I did want to cover in here, okay, there are certain people that just simply like, hey, look, okay, I would like to talk to somebody. Or, okay, you're looking for like, let's split out the payment or whatever it may be. You can call us. If you need us, call us. I have no problem with that whatsoever. 623-244-5657. If you have extra questions on there, okay, fair enough, right? So as you scroll through here, it's like $8.95. Literally put in your information, you're ready to go, okay? But again, if you need us, call us, 623-244-5657. And I also wanted to throw this up here, okay? The number is on this page again. Of course, it's on the page. We can also put the number inside of chat, okay? Again, that's important to me. Look, made another $240, okay? Thanks for the great lessons, Tony. That comes from Asher L. There's another one, okay? Finding you has been life-changing. Just banked $1,000. Sean F. from Denver. Tony, you familiar with Sean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sean trades every single day. He's turned into an extremely good trader. Really, really consistent.
I was asking that because I kind of recognize like the name in here. So I'm in that room and I check it out. Like again, this is going to be like this is going to clearly be the best challenge yet. Okay. We want you to be part of it. We want to be able to help you. Okay. Take advantage of this, help your trading get to the next level. And literally, okay, this will massively simplify, okay, your trading life. And it's a big portion of obviously what we do. Day done with $675 of Vicky W from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Here's $400 day done. By the way, there is a saying in, okay, the golden setup room, okay? And anybody here and everybody here that knows anything about Tony Rago will know that saying, day done. It basically means, okay, you're going to the clubhouse, you're done. Day done means you hit, and he always has a profitability window. Once you hit it, that's it. Out of the contest, you don't even continue to trade. Okay, there's no pushing the envelope here. It's day done. Day done means you made your money. You go into the clubhouse. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow. And again, everybody in there is day done. Day done. Okay, having a finite, attainable goal each day has really changed my mental approach. Okay, on what counts as a win. And I love that. By the way, I actually love that feedback. How many people that are live with us right now understand day done? Okay, I love it. Okay, because there's a bunch of people over here, day done within 1 to 2 hours over there. So excellent. Okay, yeah. First trade in green comes from Tim D. Okay, you're providing exceptional value, and that's what effectively we're trying to do here. And this particular course of everything we've probably spent time on, there is a phenomenal amount of time that's gone into putting together the 90-day challenge in here. Look, we started with this, okay, and I'm going to hit it again. $620 a day has been delivered, okay? It's $117,000 over the last 6 months, okay? And that's what you could potentially have been at had you actually traded with us and those setups over the last 6 months over here. Okay. The answers, your setup and strategy work. We're going to get to all the question and answer here in just a moment. But by the way, the answer to that is metaphor. Absolutely. Why not? As I said, the brokerage questions over there, those are the easy ones. By the way, as we learned, it's not 85 years young, it's 81. Okay. And this gentleman, Rich C, I really appreciated this one because Tony actually showed it to me just the other day. And Rich C, I believe Rich C is still in the room with it. It's official. You succeeded in teaching an old dog new tricks. Okay. This filled a pressing need in my financial life. So grateful to the Almighty God, okay, for you and for the new skills I gained by applying, okay, the new knowledge you taught me. Again, Rich C. So we found out it's official. He's only 81. I do apologize. 81. That's still FDR time frame, isn't it? Okay, what is that?
Uh,
1941, 1941 to 81 years old, is somewhere around there. Okay, 41. I have
Let
to
me
think
jump
about
in
this.
here on this as well,
Go
Don,
ahead.
because this embodies the simplicity of the golden setup. 85 years old or 81, 85 years old, teaching an old dog new tricks. Imagine how long Rich has been in the market and how many different strategies he's seen, right? And have the ability to take someone 85 years old and just walk them through the process and teach them some new techniques and some new tricks in all under one, marquee, making $620 a day, making money. It's a skill set. And that's what I tell folks when they come through my 90-day challenge. This is a skill set that is never going to leave you, right? And it's simple. Sorry, Don, just want to chime in there.
No, that's exactly what I'm going to get to. And by the way, I'm going to answer some of the specific questions in here in just a moment. 1943. So I'm sitting here doing my dad is actually 41. So my dad's actually 1941, and I'm like, no, he's a little bit older than that. All right, okay. So steotrade.com/gold. By the way, I'm going to read off a couple of names as we actually see the enrollments. I'm letting you guys know it takes us anywhere from 5 to 7 minutes before I actually see your name come through here. But Chad S. from Mississippi, Austin C. from Texas, Florence E. from Wisconsin, Norton S. from Washington, Larry M. from Florida, Charles K. from Oklahoma, John W. from Oregon, Dean G. from Colorado, Matthew D. from Colorado, Lewis P. from Colorado. Colorado is a pretty popular place right now. John B. from Texas, Gary O. from Minnesota, Dan R. from Texas, Joy O. from California, Thomas R. from Texas, George A. from California, Wallace B. from Georgia, Alfonso B. from North Carolina. Fantastic. That's the first batch I have just seen actually come through. Now let's get to answering some questions over here. So a few generalized things, and then we'll get to some very detailed, very specific questions. Okay. Clell D from Texas. There's more names popping through actually as I'm going along over here. Wait, apologize if I butchered that one as I'm looking at some of the names over here. Um, so let's get to this, and then Tony, if you want, you can even type into some of the answers over there, but we'll answer some of them as well verbally here. So again, by the way, somebody just jumped in and said, "Is this for beginners?" Absolutely, unequivocally, yes. Okay. In fact, one of the first things, what do you need to get started? That's one of the first things that always comes up. What do you need to get started? And the reason I'm answering this is because, one of the things that I try to do is take what I see is working, okay, continuously. And Tony, by the way, has been trading this since 2016. Okay. All we've really done is refined everything that Tony did down to that 26. That's, what's changed over the years? Nothing. Because somebody was like, well, has it worked over the last 6 months? So we've refined this and
Oh, I think Don has run into a hiccup. So I'll just kind of dovetail on where Don is leaving off. So again, this has been very refined down to a very, very simple process. And you don't need, a ton of tech to do this. You can do this with your normal laptop and an internet connection. The Oh, I lost everything there. Give me 1 second here. Hang on. We just lost. Give me 1 second. Some tech issues here. Apologize. 1 second, you guys. Okay, we're back. We're back. Sorry about that. Um, having a little hiccup there. All right. So real quick, um, the golden setup. So just going to recap, just kind of, following up where Don was. The golden setup, monthly live updates. Again, everything is recorded. Every single thing is recorded and archived. So you're not going to miss out on anything. And again, and I was saying earlier, we are trading. Okay. We are trading live every single day. I'm trading with you shoulder to shoulder in the chat room. Okay. All of the trade ideas are posted. All of the setups are posted when when I'm trading live. I'm going to give you a big heads up as price is coming down to our 26 level. You can email me at any time. Again, that email support I think is huge. There's a lot of different, folks, different learning speeds, if you will. Okay. So Greg B from Arizona, Mark H from Nevada, welcome to the challenge. You have access to me 24/7, right? And as Don said, look, I'm chained to my computer. I love this stuff. I eat, sleep, and breathe this. So if you have a question about anything as we're going through this, or something that you've discovered yourself, or some clarification that might be needed, I don't care if it's 9 p.m. your time at night, you want to email me, chances are you're going to get an answer from me that evening. Calvin from Florida, welcome. In terms of the IRA trading, that's all very broker specific, but this, as long as you can trade futures in your brokerage account, you can do this setup. Henry M from Virginia, welcome. Donald, welcome. So if you are having an issue with your current brokerage firm about trading futures, then we can help you kind of get through that as well. Okay. So remember, this is, again, I'm putting myself on the line with a money back guarantee. Again, no questions asked. As you get involved in this, I encourage you, I implore you to give it its run. Don't give up in the first couple weeks. Don't give up in the first 30 days. This is just a 90-day challenge. Okay. David S from Maryland, welcome. Congratulations for joining this next challenge. Again, this one is going to be the best one yet, because we have that onboarding is going to be a lot quicker than the previous one. Stanley H from Hawaii. That's a little bit of a time zone challenge, but look, I will be there as long as you are. Stanley from Hawaii, again, welcome. Tim R from California, and Don Kaufman, welcome back.
Yeah, I'm having a rough technology day today. It's
He's
just
in, he's out.
it's just not my day. I expect this stuff when I live in the Virgin Islands a lot of the time, and I expect it in the Virgin Islands, right? I have Starlink, I have all this backup, I have generators. I'm in Paradise Valley, man. I'm in the middle of the entire, one of the largest cities in the United States. I have lost power multiple times today. I'm losing internet over here. I was talking to the guys that were actually fixing the power. It literally was generation was lost right outside of my house here. Transformer blew up, and they said yeah, we can't even get the parts for these transformers anymore. We're actually retrofitting with old parts. I'm like, it makes me feel good. Makes me feel great about it. So appreciate you guys staying with me over there, and I want to congratulate everybody for actually that are joining today. Especially on behalf of myself, everybody here at TheoTrade. You guys are going to love what Tony is doing inside of this golden setup chat room. You're absolutely going to love it over there. So, all right, Tony, what did I miss over here in terms of
I
some
kind
of
of
the
just talked
Q&A?
through the fact that, as long as you have the ability to trade futures at your brokerage firm, you're going to be able to do this. And look, like Don said, Don has, just oodles of experience when it comes to brokerage firms. So if there's something that we can help, from our side of it to help you get approved for trading futures, then by all means, reach out.
Yeah, you know what? So I actually I do have no problem whatsoever. I do know the brokerage side of the business extraordinarily well. I can help you guys extensively with that. By the way, William B from California. Again, I'm watching a couple more names come through over here. One of the things also that the comfortability with your brokerage firm, right? Maybe you've been with a firm for a while. Okay, You can start with them. It's okay. There's a lot of brokerage firms though, because everybody always asks this question over there, and this brokerage firm doesn't let me do this, and they don't let me do that. If your firm doesn't let you do what you want with your money, find another firm. And I really do. I take that stuff to heart. So find somebody that's comfortable. We can help with that. Okay. We can totally help with that. So Terrell L from Texas. Okay. Caslow M from Georgia. By the way, fantastic. No, I appreciate some of the commentary in here on here. Okay. So let me look for some more specifics over there. Okay. Oh, Tony, you want to talk a little bit more about some of the hours? So I know that you're
Yeah.
in and out of the room throughout the course of the day, but have at it.
Yeah, so for the live room, I am typically in there. So the NQ can be volatile at times. So we let the first hour of trade kind of come and go, especially for the new folks. For the new folks coming in, I don't want to overwhelm you with trying to trade, right when the market opens and the bell rings. We want to let it calm down a little bit. Remember, our setups happen daily. So we are trading right at the top of the first hour. So if you're on the West Coast, that's 7:30 a.m. If you're on the East Coast, 10:30 a.m. In roughly 90 minutes. I do go over sometimes, like Don said, I'm going over like 2 hours at times. If the market is trading, we are going to be taking those setups. When we have downtime, I simply teach. They're almost like every single day is a coaching session in a live market. It is truly a hands-on, session every single day where we're walking away with some knowledge every single day. So we're getting a few more in here as well. Gerard F. from Washington, William B. from California. Congratulations, you guys, for joining this challenge. This is going to be a blast. I hope you get everything out of it that a lot of the other folks that are already in the challenge that are chiming in the chat room.
By the way, yeah, metaphor works. That's fine. That's yeah. So again, the brokerage platforms, I've said this like a bunch of times, dime a dozen. So you don't want to try to fit like a round peg into a square hole, but we'll help you with that. On the brokerage side of things, that doesn't have to be perfect right up front. So get comfortability. So go through the class with Tony, like watch it. Get comfortable with it. Hop in the room, okay, and talk to some of the other clientele. You got to figure out who you kind of are first. By the way, Neil Z from Texas, John S from Texas. Again, we're just reading off a couple of the names of those that we see have actually enrolled. So we have what we call 30 riskless spots available, and we are incredibly close to having those filled up. So I think you guys will really appreciate you joining Tony each day inside of the Golden Setup Room. By the way, okay, again, we are archiving. We are archiving not only the class, but also, of course, his what is supposed to be a 90-minute chat, but usually turns into 2 or 3 hours. All of that's archived for you guys to watch at a later time. And again, Tony, like literally on a day-to-day basis, right? Every day is a coaching session. I talk about, this once every 30-day session, Tony, but I mean, every day I've spent hundreds of hours with Tony in that room. Every single day is a lesson. We're constantly, evolving a little bit from there. So, all right, let me actually pop up our order page. There's a couple of questions on this particular front. Again, if you scroll down towards the bottom of the page, of course, there is the money back guarantee on there. So you wait to the 89th day and the 23rd hour of the 89th day. It's okay. Like, again, we, as I say, we kind of put our neck on the line over here. It's $895. But what Tony does, okay, I think you guys are going to find absolutely phenomenal. There's no question whatsoever on that. And again, it is
Don, we have some more joining
theotrade.com/gold.
We have some more joining too. Ronald N. from Arizona, Charles P. from Florida, Hubert A. from Florida. Welcome, you guys. This is going to be a lot of fun. Congratulations for joining the challenge.
All right. So I love this. Okay. By the way, I appreciate the comment actually coming in here. In fact, I'm even going to put this up on the screen as I read it off a little bit here. So I do apologize, but I'm actually going to bring this up on the screen. No, Okay, I'm breaking stuff over here. Oh, Tony, it's your screen, isn't it?
Yeah,
Okay.
you have to take it back.
It's yeah, it is. I'm losing it. I'm losing it over here. So it is most definitely Tony's screen over here. But again, it's theotrade.com/gold. It's gold, Jerry. It's gold. But one of the comments that I wanted to read off here and just give me one moment to actually find it. Okay. And again, I know this gentleman fairly well. Okay. To be mentored in a live environment, 2 hours every single day. Okay. For 90 minutes by a professional trader for $895 is unheard of. Okay. How much you think you say? Okay. If you're a football fan, what it costs to be mentored by, Terry Bradshaw. I appreciate the analogy in here daily. Answer doesn't exist. It's really a no-brainer. And again, I'm fairly familiar. This is a individual, no names to protect the guilty, but this is an individual that actually was within this 90-day trader challenge. Time and again over here. So David O from Florida, fantastic. See your name coming through over here. It's great. Anything else that's coming up over here that's a burning desire for you, Mr. Rago, to cover? And again, I do apologize. I thought I had screen share up here, but as I was saying a moment ago, somebody was asking specifically about this page. If you actually scroll down, it's everything that's included over here. Okay, the done for you auto charting, obviously the coaching calls, which are 2 to 3 hour sessions, the on-demand masterclass, which is over 2 hours. Okay, the 90-day chat room access and futures 101. It is all part, again, all part, of course, of the golden setup, along with a 90-day money back guarantee. Just come in here again, it's theotrade.com/gold. Okay. All right. Onward and upward. Okay. Make sure that we're good to go. By the way, our phone line right now, I am hearing is busy. Okay. It's give it a little bit of time over here. I do apologize. There are many, many people actually on this webinar over here. So again, it's 623-244-5657. Okay. And again, there are many people on this one over here. Tony, any last words of advice as we kind of wrap things up here, of course, on today's session?
I'm just loving the comments in the room. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm just loving seeing this. A lot of people are in tune to this, and it's really cool to see. It's just awesome. So again, congratulations to everybody that's coming on board. Really look forward to meeting every single one of you. And yeah, if the phone line's busy, don't give up. Just keep trying. And of course, you can always reach out to us. Again, I'll give you guys that information as well. You can always reach out to me at support@TheoTrade and just put it to my attention. I'll be glad to get back to you. I mean, with that being said, we covered a lot today, Don. So I'm good to go. If you're good to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, fantastic. I appreciate everybody. By the way, we're going to stay here inside of the chat room here for a few minutes and answer your questions via typing. So if you do have more questions, feel free. Tony, myself, the entire team here at TheoTrade. Again, that number 623-244-5657. If it's busy, well, it is busy right now. Keep trying, give it a little bit of time. We'll get a hold of you for sure. And again, keep trying. We've also got this theotrade.com/gold. Have a wonderful afternoon, everybody. On behalf of myself, Tony Rago, and everybody here at TheoTrade, bye-bye.